Welcome to the Blue Chip Podcast by fans for fans. It's your host Cody Potter. So this is the first time I actually get to talk about what I love to talk about. This is week 0 college football, man. I'm going to go over some quarterbacks. I'm going to go over the players I'm looking for. I'm a big scouting guy, man. So a lot of this is going to be scout oriented. It's going to be grading. I'm going to show you some videos and some clips and things like that. Certain players I'm looking for this week. It's Saturday, man. It's the first week of college football. So they call it week 0. They've been doing it for the past couple years, man. I'm super pumped, super excited. There's some players that I'm looking for, man. Just keep going with these notes. It's years of taking notes, man. From coming out of high school, I have notes on these guys. I watch high school ball all around the country. This is what I do, man. So really, let's get into it, man. The biggest thing for me is week 0. We got 4 games. We got 8 teams, man. There's a lot of notes that I got on guys. It's going to be a fun year for this. Very, very excited to get this thing going, man. My highest graded player in week 0 is going to be Jontez Williams, the cornerback from Iowa State. Jeremiah Cooper, he's a slot corner. Nickel safety kind of guy that I really, really like from there too. Dominique Orange is probably the third highest graded player on Iowa State. So as you can tell, the defense is really, really strong for Iowa State. Had 2 players go in the draft this past year, pretty damn early. Wide receivers, man, they were killing it last year out there in Iowa State, and I think their quarterback play, if it can elevate, they got a chance to be making some noise late in the year, man. But Jontez Williams, man, that's a guy that I really, really like. He's a corner that I think can play outside. I think he has the movement skills to play inside, but I think he's physical enough. You want him outside. You want him on the boundary, man. He's a guy that sets the edge. He can play against the run. Has a little bit of playmaking ability, but he is solid, man. You don't have to worry about him. He can play man. He can play a little bit of zone. I think zone is probably the area that he needs the most work in going forward, man. But again, so they're playing K-State. I'm going to highlight another player a little bit later when I talk about this, but they have a defense too, man, and they have a quarterback that I think can have them competing too. I think Kansas State in the Big 12. I mean, these are 2 teams that are going to be competing, and it's going to be a pretty good year for both of these teams. I like both of these teams moving forward. So this is a hell of a game to start off with both of these guys. And then my second highest graded player is also in this game. So, I mean, we're going to highlight him too. Not to take away from anybody else, but Austin Romaine, the linebacker from K-State, number 45. He and Gabe Powers, the linebacker that he lines up next to, man. Both of these guys I think are going to be going before the 3rd round of the next year's draft. And Austin Romaine can probably go even higher, man. This is a guy that plays very well against the run. He's just all over the field, man. Just elite coverage ability, I think, for in the zone. And then just diagnoses plays, man. And just when he is running forward and he is tracking the ball, man, he is relentless, man. Just motor running all the time. I think this guy has a chance to be probably knocking on the door of early day 2. I think, a high second rounder is very much in his future. He's got the possibilities, the capability. Tape is rock solid, all motor, gets off blocks well. The type of player that you're looking for, man. And then there's a bunch of other matchups for week 0, man. Besides just this game, I just wanted to highlight these 2 guys because these are the 2 highest graded players that I have going in before the season starts for next year's draft in this whole week. But, you got Fresno State versus Kansas. A couple guys that I really, really like on that team. Jalen Daniels, man, he's probably the highest graded quarterback that's going to play all week 0. We're going to see what he can do if he can stay healthy. What are they going to do without the run game that they had last year? I mean, they do got Daniel Heshaw from Kansas, but last year, man, they had a 4-year starter playing, man. He was a really, really, really good running back, man. He's carried Kansas for a long time, so they got a little bit of turnover there. But Jalen Daniel is an athletic quarterback, and he throws the ball very, 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 very good. He has a pretty deep ball. Fresno State's a team that you got to kind of watch out for, man, on the level of competition that they play, man. Azalian Hamilton, their cornerback, number 3, he's a guy that I'm really looking forward to elevating his stock, man. He's got some really good length, pretty good feet for his size. Fresno State has a couple interior offensive linemen that I really, really like, so I think this is a pretty good matchup. I think ultimately Kansas is going to win the game. But I think, with Josiah Freeman and the guys that Fresno State has, man, the quarterback play, man, they're going to give this team a matchup, man. So again, I'm looking forward to seeing that. A day 3 player that I'm going to highlight right here. This is going to be pretty quick, but a day 3 player that I do like coming into another game is Peter Manuma. I don't want to mess his name up, but the strong safety. He's a day 3 guy that I really, really like. Out of Hawaii, man, he's a strong safety. He has really good instincts, man, and just a guy that is going to go like later in the draft. Round 4, round 5, somewhere in that range. Just because he plays at Hawaii, it's a different level of competition. I just highlighted there. He doesn't really have a great highlight reel as far as for doing clips and ththings like that for this episode. But he was just a player that I wanted to talk about, man, because when you watch Hawaii, man, this guy flashes all over the field, man. He's like, the long hair, people think Troy Polamalu, this isn't USC, but man, he's a guy that plays with really, really high energy, very, very smart player, looks very, very comfortable anywhere on the field, man. He could probably play. He can do the nickel cornerback role, especially going up against tight ends, has the movement skills for that. He's a physical football player, just very, very smart, man. Wherever the ball's going, he has a nose for the ball. This is the type of players that I like. I like hybrid safeties, the nickel corners, man. They flash so well when they know where to be all over the football field, man. So you're just looking for things like that. And that's the Stanford-Hawaii matchup. Caden High from Stanford, he's a guy that you want to look for, slot wide receiver. Kalen Brown for Hawaii, the cornerback, and then Elijah Robinson, the edge from Hawaii. Those are guys that I have draftable grades on that I wanted to talk about. Then you got Sam Houston State versus Western Kentucky. Again, this is a level that most people probably aren't watching on the regular, but actually, man, I'm very excited for this Western Kentucky team. They have 3 offensive linemen that I think are draftable. I think 2 of these guys probably get invites to like the East-West Shrine Game, the Senior Bowl, and things like that, which is, man, that's the all-star platform that you're looking to see these guys elevate for, man, because when you go from Western Kentucky, the knock is, can they play up to the level of competition when they're going into the pros, man? And like I say, I scout all the time, so I'm thinking about these things. Well, when I'm watching Western Kentucky play, man, like their offensive tackle, their offensive guard, Weston Wallace and Marshall Jackson, man, like these guys, they should get invites to the East-West Shrine Game or the Senior Bowl, because when you look at these guys are just road graders, man. They move very well against the run. Jackson has very, very good feet on the edge, man. I think this guy could play right tackle in the NFL. He definitely has the movement skills to play guard, but, this guy is the type of guy that you want to get invited to the Shrine Game, man, because when he plays against a guy that's coming from like LSU or Alabama, that's trying to raise their stock as well, these guys are the guys that come into that game and they play up to the level of competition. So these guys are guys that I'm really, really excited for. And this is week 0, man. So again, like I said, college football is back. This is what I do, man. This is the time of year, man. My notebooks are full right now. I'm ready to get started on the notes for this season. Transferred all the notes that I could from last year into this year, so we're going to see how this goes. And now I'm going to talk about some quarterbacks, man. Quarterback play, I'm just going to show different videos so you guys ain't watching me the whole time. Man, dude, like the quarterback play is always critical no matter what level of football we're talking about. There's some guys that I just want to shout out because I think these are the most critical quarterbacks to their teams. I mean, every quarterback is critical to each of their team. The players that are coming up on this video are not necessarily the players that I'm actually talking about. Bryce Underwood is on my list. He's going to be a little bit later. So I'm going to talk about the contenders first. The teams that I think are going to be in the hunt for the playoffs this year based off of their quarterback play. I think the quarterback play is the most indicative to these teams having the playoff success that I'm talking about. One is Cade Klubnik from Clemson. I think Clemson has a real shot. I think the national title is going to be involving Clemson, whether it's the team that takes Clemson out of the playoffs before the national title game or it's Clemson in the national title game. Cade Klubnik is a guy, he's my highest rated quarterback going into this year for the NFL draft. Lenore Sellers from South Carolina is a guy that, man, I mean, dude, I like Shane Beamer. I liked Frank Beamer when he was at Virginia Tech. Shane Beamer deserves his own right because he's a hell of a coach, man. And Lenore Sellers this dude is rocked up. This dude is a physical freak. Has a really, really good deep ball and everything that you want. Like I said, the guys that are playing on this tape right now are not necessarily the guys that I'm talking about. I'm just trying to show you guys some quarterback play and just have you guys not watching me the whole time as I go over these notes. Then Dante Moore from Oregon, man. Oregon is a team that I'm very, very excited about. Dante Moore is a player that I really, really loved coming out of the McDonald's All-American game a couple years ago. Went to UCLA. Just had like this, like, dude, like he just looked like, and the elevation of college quarterbacks and high school quarterbacks, of course, it evolves over time as these players come into the NFL, and these guys try to emulate their skill set. So Dante Moore is a guy that I really, really loved. He looked like prime Russell Wilson in the All-American game, and I was like, man, dude, I really like this guy. I thought going to UCLA with Chip Kelly and things like that was going to be a really, really exciting offense thing, but he transfers to Oregon, and now this guy has a real shot at playing Heisman level football. Dante Moore is a little bit shorter, has like that Russell Wilson movement skill kind of thing, where he's not like an elite athletic runner, but man, he can throw that deep ball very, very nice. He can layer the football. That 6'1", like thicker build kind of frame. Dante Moore is a quarterback that I'm very, very excited about, man, and I like what Oregon did this year. They've done the Bo Nix, they've done the Dylan Gabriels, they've done the savvy veteran, man. Well, this time they went with the high upside, like, this guy is a number one recruit for a reason. This guy can play really, really, really good football. This guy has more than 1 year of eligibility. So can he grow into next year and really get this team over the hump between this year and next year? Can Oregon win a national title? I mean, Oregon has the roster to do it. And they got the wide receivers, they got the offense, they got the defense, they got everything on every level of the field to do it. So Dante Moore is a guy that I really, really like. Can he evolve in this offense? Can he play really good? Can he play to the level that Oregon needs? Everybody knows Arch Manning for Texas. I don't really know. I mean, dude, we all know the pedigree. He's a Manning. He's, of course, going to probably go top. He's going to be the top pick, more than likely, unless he just ultimately blunders it. But everything that I've seen from his college tape so far says that he's going to be a top pick when he comes out. I don't know if this is their year. I'm not saying that to knock him. Texas is uber talented. Texas is going to be in the running for the national title no matter what happens. I'm not saying that to knock them. I just think it takes quarterbacks time to win the big one. The player that's playing right now, Sam Leavitt, is a guy that I'm very, very high on. He is my like boomer bust kind. He's not in this lineup of quarterbacks. I'm going over the quarterbacks that I think have a real legit chance at a national title right now. Sam Leavitt's coming up. I think his team is critical. I think he can get into the playoffs. He's going to be in my playoff window, or my like freshman quarterbacks that you're going to hear from. Arch Manning with Texas, man, they got a real shot. And then you got Drew Aller and Garrett Nussmeier. Those are my six, man. These are my six quarterbacks that I think are completely critical to their team going to the national title game this year. Those six rosters are the type of rosters that get to the national championship game. Of course, LSU, man, can they get their defense going? I think they'll be better this year than they were last year. I think they'll be way better than they were 2 years ago with Jaden Daniels. But that was a nightmare season for that defense. I mean, that was a national title offense with a Conference USA defense a couple years ago with Jaden Daniels, Malik Neighbors, and Brian Thomas Jr. And then Will Campbell at the offensive tackle spot, man. I mean, those were all top 15 picks. And honestly, when I say top 15, they were all top 10 talents. So again, Garrett Nussmeier, Drew Aller, it's really on them guys to have a big year, man. Garrett Nussmeier came back. Drew Aller came back. They both could have probably gone by the third round last year, so there's no reason for them to come out. They can elevate their stock this year. They have national title rosters at Penn State and at LSU. So can they get over the hump, man? That's really the biggest thing with these two rosters. So other quarterbacks that I wanted to get into on this pod, because these guys are either a little bit younger, or they're guys that I think can really, really elevate their stock for the draft. Both are, I mean, honestly, they're all different levels of the spectrum. My first quarterback I'm going to talk about is Malik Washington. He's going to be probably the shortest of the ones that I talk about. He's the freshman for the University of Maryland. This is a huge get for the University of Maryland, man. They have a really, really good freshman wide receiver that came in with him. He flashed in their spring game. I'm really, really, really looking forward to seeing Malik Washington on Maryland this year. This is not a national title thing. This is just a player that maybe in 2 or 3 years could be competing for a national title, or potentially being a top 10 pick in the NFL. From everything that I've seen from high school to Maryland so far as a freshman, I'm looking to see how he elevates this team over the course of the season. Not national title things like I was just talking about. Again, just a player that I'm really, really looking forward to over the next 3 to 4 years to really scout and get into, take the notes, and just see what he does at the University of Maryland. I think he's a hell of a get. And then we got Bryce Underwood from the University of Michigan. This is a little bit on the all spectrum right here because, again, he's a freshman, but this guy is built like Cam Newton, man, but like minus maybe like an inch or two. But, dude, this guy can move with the wheels. He has a cannon for a friggin' arm. And honestly, man, Michigan is super, super talented, and they're a veteran team outside of a couple things, man. Like, some of them guys still have just got off of a national championship 2 years ago. So they have a winning pedigree over there in Michigan, and they brought in a freshman wide receiver in their own right. Almost in the same thing that I was talking about Malik Washington for the University of Maryland. Bryce Underwood has his own guy moving forward as a freshman, so they get to grow and develop together. But Bryce Underwood and the University of Michigan, they're in a different place right now. These guys can honestly play. They can play, fringe playoff level, sneak in top 12. I mean, they can get into the playoffs this year with a true freshman quarterback, man, and I think that's going to be a thing. Then you got DJ Lagway from Florida. They have national title aspirations. They have a national title level roster in Florida. They've had it since the last 3 or 4 years with Napier, but Florida has underwhelmed in critical moments against really good teams the last couple of years. They did come on a little hot last year, so we're going to see, man. We're going to see, because this is Napier's year, man, and DJ Lagway is going to be the keys to Florida, and we're going to see what that has to go with, man. I'll turn that video off, man, because the quarterbacks aren't even lining up with me anywhere close, but like I said, I just put it on just to give you guys something to watch. And it had some of the quarterbacks that I was talking about, whether it was before, during, or, however it went. So, again, DJ Lagway from Florida, he's a guy that, Florida's banking everything on them, man. Napier's banking everything on him. He was a high recruit coming out of high school. The kid can play football, man. He's huge. Again, he's almost in the Lenora Sellers, like the Bryce Underwood's. Like, everything you want physically from, huge arm, has big legs, can take hits. He's a big body quarterback, man. He's just a physical mover of the football, man. You can see that guy power that ball all 3 layers of the field. Can he start layering the ball instead of just powering it and muscling that ball down the field? It's always a fastball with DJ Lagway. We got to see him be able to put some touch on the ball and start to grow as a quarterback. This is a guy that if he has the type of year that Florida's hoping he has, he can enter the draft and he could be a top 10 pick. So that's why DJ Lagway is on this board. Not only just for can they make it to the playoffs, can they be that type of team. He is playing for the NFL draft. I believe he would come out in this class if Cade Klubnik is the only guy that he's really competing with outside of these next two that I'm about to. The few that I've mentioned already, but besides Garrett Nussmeier, Drew Aller, their teams, they're banking on them, and they are what they are as players physically, but you have a Joe Burrow type year, man, and you elevate your game and your tape to that type of level. Dude, you don't have to be a runner. Them guys that can dissect from the pocket are still very valuable, man. And Drew Aller and Garrett Nussmeier, man, they should be watching a lot of what Joe Burrow does, man, because that type of quarterback can still win in this league, and they can honestly make national title runs, man. They can elevate their offenses and elevate their teams to have that kind of success. So again, man, Sam Levitt was a guy that kind of played a little bit earlier on the Clips. ASU quarterback, man, he's got a hell of a wide receiver in Jordan Tyson, who's going to be a top wide receiver prospect in this draft. I think he's going to be a top 3 wide receiver selected come April. Sam Levitt has a really, really good coach, man. I love their coaching staff there. Arizona State kind of took Texas to the finish line last year. Gave them everything they had in the college football playoffs last year. I don't know if they make it back. That run game that they lost was second to Ashton Jeanty, and we know what they did at Boise State. I actually missed Kevin Jennings, man. He's a quarterback that I am really, really high on for SMU. He actually played in this clip too a little while ago. But Kevin Jennings is a guy, man. He has all the tools and all the tape, and he reminds me of almost like what RG3 was back in like 2012. And we've seen what these running quarterbacks have done from year 1 to year 2 to year 3 to year 4 in college. I think Kevin Jennings has a chance, man. If he shows a little bit more developed from just the one read and go and just relying on his legs, and it's going to be the same thing with the next quarterback I talk, who's not draft eligible. Kevin Jennings has a really, really good shot at elevating his draft stock to be the number 1 overall pick with his dynamic legs, with his arm. this dude could beat out Lagway, or he could beat out Cape Klubnik if he takes SMU back to where they were last year, and maybe even advances them a little bit farther because he has a hell of a game in the playoffs. Man, he could do that. So Kevin Jennings is a guy that I'm really, really excited to see as well, because not only could he get them back into the playoffs, he could have probably been on the other list where I was talking about, like Lenore Sellers and getting that team to that college football playoff range. He can also elevate his draft stock to be the number one guy in the country and be the number one overall pick. Kevin Jennings has that type of talent. He has that type of ability, mobility, and from playing from the pocket. Like, he has the type of tools. Now, can he read the defenses and get to the second and third reads and elevate that offense a little bit further? I think he can. I think he has the skill set to do it. And I really, really like some of the defensive players from SMU, man. So I'm really looking forward to seeing that team all around. Sam Levitt again, ASU. I expect them to be in the hunt. They'll be competing with Clemson in the ACC, and then a quarterback that doesn't really have. He's not draft eligible. I don't even think this is a team that's playing for the playoffs, but this is just a quarterback that I really, really liked on tape last year. He got limited reps towards the end of the season, but it's Damon Williams for UW, Washington University out there. This is a mobile quarterback, man, who has wheels. He wanted to run. You could tell when the play break down, he wanted to run. It was one read and go. Players were not really stepping up for him, but he's got a little bit better wide receiver play this year. Can the offensive line protect this kid, and can he develop as a passer? Because he reminds me of Jaden Daniels, like early on in Jaden Daniels' ASU career. Where it's just like, dude, your wheels are so good, you want to rely on them, but you have to develop as a passer. So I'm trying to see what his growth is as a true freshman last year to being a sophomore this year that has some playing experience. You've seen the speed of the game. You saw the speed of the game because he came in against Oregon. So when UW comes against Oregon and that's your first matchup in college football, man, like, you're getting elite speed like that. Like, if there's a million things you're going to see on tape, it's going to be against Oregon, your first career game again in college football last year, because that Oregon defense was nasty and they were beating him up, and they were just the more physical team. But that's the type of tape that you want to learn and you want to develop off of. So again, Damon Williams is a guy that I'm very excited for looking into this next college football season. We're going to talk a lot of college football this year, man. So I'm very, very excited to go with this. Wanted to get the week 0 out of the way. I wanted to kind of get some of these quarterbacks out of the way for what I have for them. And we're going to see what this college football season is about, man. Of course, we talk about all these things now, and then by week 5, it's all blown up. It's all changing. We're talking about 4 different quarterbacks. We're talking about 4 different teams letting down. We're talking about 4 teams that we never even heard of before, coming into the season. Not never heard of, but you just didn't expect it from them, man. College football is that game. It's really, really exciting, and that's why I love watching it, man. I love breaking down these kids. I love watching them, like, all through the leagues, man. Transfer portal has made it a little bit harder keeping up with them, but the player doesn't change, the team changes, number changes, whatever. We just dock it in. That's why I do it by position. I do not do it by team, because it would just be impossible to keep up with. But yeah, man, I'm very excited to see what this college football season has to offer, man. It's going to be exciting, man. Like I said, it kicks off Saturday. I got some Commanders news coming for you guys on my next pod for that. They play the Bengals tonight, so I got more pods coming at you guys, man, but this was my first college football one for the season, man. I hope you guys liked it. Thank you guys for checking out the Blue Chip Podcast by Fans for Fans. Your host, Cody Potter. We're out. Peace.